Hey, welcome back to the podcast, the Evil Dungeon Master Universe podcast. Today is Wednesday. It is middle of the week, and it's time for another podcast. Hopefully, you're doing quite well out there. I know I am. Let's see here. There's an announcement. YouTube is having some issues with the RSS feed, so my podcast coming to YouTube is a little bit behind, as I just noticed this morning when I woke up that the one from yesterday was finally uploaded. I was like, yay, about time. So those that watch this on YouTube, I apologize, it's going to be a little bit behind, and you can switch over to Spotify or Apple Podcast or whatever your favorite podcasting app is. You can find my podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe, and listen to it there. And if you're a Spotify person, you can comment. You're allowed to have a little comment spot on each episode, so why not use that? Don't forget to rate me on these apps too, so I know what I'm doing and how to improve and things like that. So, welcome. TheEvilDM.com is my email address where you can sign up for the newsletter. AskTheDM@EvilDM.com is my email address where you can contact me. And also buymeacoffee.com/TheEvilDM is how you can support me. Anyway, let's flip over to the Fiend Folio today and go to page 11. Now, the Aleax, and I believe that's how it's pronounced, it derives from the word ale, but it also is a meaning of bright one, shining one, and noble one. And that comes into play here when we talk about the Aleax. It's very rare, only one appearing, normal class just see below, hit dice, blah, blah, blah. It's mostly everything just see below. Intelligence is genius. So the Aleax is a physical manifestation of a vengeance of a certain gods or gods. There is only one for each such god sent to punish and redeem those who stray from alignment, fail to sacrifice enough treasure, or otherwise anger their god. An Aleax will never be met by chance. So when we talked about clerics and paladins kind of deterring away from their alignment and their religion, here is what a possibility can happen. Now, is a god going to send the Aleax after you for being a first level cleric and breaking your vows and everything? No. A paladin? No. Are you a 10th to 12th level character doing this constantly? Yes, he might. Is there an entire village of people that used to worship a certain god suddenly doing something against the god or not sacrificing enough? Will they send this guardian down? Yes, they will. It's a perfect resistance. So, an Aleax appears in human form and will closely resemble his intended victim. To that victim, the Aleax will appear bathed in shimmering light, which varies in color according to the god's alignment. Golden for lawful good, deep purple for lawful evil, ever-changing rose and blue hues for chaotic good, and so forth. And so forth. So just pick out the rest yourself. On appearance, the Aleax will attack the intended victim. He cannot be detected in any other ways, nor will physical or magical attacks touch the Aleax except those from his victim. To an observer, the victim appears to be in conflict with a totally invisible and totally invulnerable being. To the victim, the Aleax will be, in all respect, except as indicated elsewhere, his own exact duplicate. It will have the same characteristics, hit points, armor, weapons, and so on. There are but two differences in combat. The Aleax regenerates after first being wounded. The round after the wound is taken, it regenerates 1 hit points, the next round 2 hit points, and 4 hit points, and 8 points until it is actually killed, reduced to 0 hit points or below. And all hits are restored. If it is hit again, the progression starts again at 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. Any hit scored against the Aleax on an unmodified roll of 19 does double damage, and any hit on an unmodified 20 does quadruple damage. Note that damage inflicted by the Aleax on a victim is normal, whatever the 2-hit roll is, so they don't even get a critical hit, it looks like. A victim killed by Aleax loses all treasure, even if cached goods are near omniscient, and half his experience points. Holy shit. The character is then automatically raised. The character is automatically raised and may begin their life again at the appropriate experience level. All the victim's magical items lose their magical properties. Scrolls become blank, potions become inert, and so on. No resurrection is necessary, and the character will not receive further visitation from the Aleax, providing he remains true to his god thereafter. If the intended victim kills the Aleax, the person is taken to heaven, or Olympus, or hell, or Valhalla as appropriate, to serve his god personally for a year and a day. On return, the character will gain all former possessions, in which case retain their properties and powers, though they are not available for use by any other character during this owner's absence. And the deity will almost certainly, 95% chance, add an extra reward, a powerful magical item, promotion to the next highest experience level at the referee's discretion. As it appears, an Aleax will, in the victim's alignment language, utter a few brief words to indicate that the victim has to be punished by his god. Otherwise, an Aleax will never converse, no matter under what duress, when it comes to talking to the character. So interesting that my theory in the beginning of sending it against a town does not work here, because it only is intended for people that did. But though, yeah, they're only one at a time. So I guess what it could, no, it wouldn't work against a town. What it could do is work against the leader of the town, or the clerical leader of the town, or the high priest, whatever you want to call him, of the town. He would come after him, saying that you and your town disobeyed the god, and I'm after you now. It's interesting that he appears directly as your complete mirror image, with some differences as far as the rules go. And either you get killed by it, resurrected, lose some experience in all your items, and get a little pat on the butt saying, do better. Or if you kill it, you get to go to your god's place of heaven or whatever and serve him for a year and a day. So either way, you're kind of losing out. At least in one situation, you're losing out to the point that you can continue playing. The other one is you get to go away as an NPC for a year and a day and then come back, maybe as another experience level or a nice, cool magical item or something. But either way, it's going to kind of ruin your character. I don't think I've ever seen any DM use this particular creature, monster, whatever you want to call it, method, whatever, ever in a campaign. I was just kind of looking through the book and I saw this and I'm like, oh, hey, this looks interesting enough to talk about. Because I always wonder what DMs do when clerics go off the rails or paladins go off the rails, and generally you just kind of punish as far as the god's concerned in game. But now you can actually have some representation come down from the god. I mean, obviously, with his first level, he's not going to really care that much. But when you get into upper levels and you disobey the deity with whatever, you break your oath or something like that, he's going to be sending this warrior down, which is basically you, with some stipulations. I do like that if you hit a 19, you get double damage, and 20, it's quadruple damage on this thing. So, yeah. Tell me what you think about this creature. How would you use it in your campaign? I really do like how it's a vengeance a certain god. I don't like if you defeat it, you have to be an NPC for a year and you basically get pulled out of the campaign. That's how a lot of things worked in 1E. There was a lot of things that pulled you out of the game, such as, torturing you and putting your soul in cages and things like that. And you're taking your character away, turning them to stone, things like that, take your character away. But the year and the day thing is kind of interesting. I mean, I guess you could just, with the group's agreement, hand wave a year and a day, when it comes to this, to get the game going back on. But I mean, if you're the DM and you're sending this after a player character, a character in the game, at this point you're frustrated probably as a DM, and this is like kind of an in-game last resort. If you've talked to them and they're still doing it, and then their character deserves to go away for a year and a day. I think at this point, I don't know. You guys think it's fair? Tell me what you think in the comments. I really want to know. Is this a fair thing or is this an unfair thing? I'm going to head out. Keep it original. Keep it old school. Good night. God bless. And don't forget to keep those AD&D fires lit. Good night.